For further deliberation, let's invite Dr. Dilip Barad for his presentation on this issue. Dr. Barad, please.
Yes, thanks a lot, Kumar sir, for inviting me to speak. I'm very thankful to both the speakers who came before me. Uh, it will help me to avoid repetition. Okay, let me share the screen and a roadmap of what I want to share. Yeah. I'm sharing a window here. Okay. Okay, fine. So NEP 2020, and I would like to concentrate on blended learning and pedagogical transformations. So here I would like to merge a couple of things together here. One is NEP 2020, wherein point number 23 and 24. Most of the points which are discussed, they are in a way covered by both the speakers who came before me. So I would like to connect these points with one more interesting idea which UGC has floated recently, and which is known as the concept knot on blended learning. So I would like to say something about that also and avoid repetition about what has been said. I would like to give some of the examples of what we are doing here, practically what we are trying to do when we try to integrate technology in online and digital education. Last year was an amazing year. The Corona time gave a wonderful opportunity to integrate technology, to explore technology, to learn lot many new things. In our environment, like in Department of English, we were able to do that. Luckily, our students were also contributing quite actively on the other side. They were also able to engage themselves with the learning. So it was very good to experiment with several things there. So that also I would like to share here. Okay, so the few things which are already covered up. Yeah. Dr. Jay Badiani covered about NETF, and also Dolia sir talked about this. So I am avoiding these concepts which are already been discussed there. Okay? These are the slides which are already been discussed. So I am moving beyond this. This one slide is very interesting, which I would like to concentrate a little bit here, wherein in NEP it says that our present education system's inability to cope with rapid and disruptive changes. And because of that, individually as well as nationally, we are at perilous disadvantage in this increasingly competitive world. So this is very interesting challenge that we have to face. So academia as such has not been able to pace with the changing dynamics in society. We are in the 21st year of the 21st century. And right from the beginning of this century, we were talking about technology. Y2K, we all remember Y2K, and how technology was talked and how India got upper hand, how the Indian software engineers came into demand and were sold like hot cake in Silicon Valley in America. So the digital story or the success story of India along with digital tools is not a new story. It is as old as 21 years now. But somehow our academia was not able to cope with that. That also is mentioned in NEP, and that is a very interesting challenge that we have to accept. And very interestingly, if we still believe that technology is of no use, or we have any doubt against in favor of using technology or any other thing, then we need to change our attitude. That is the need of the hour as such. Okay? When we look at this NEP and blended learning mode and other thing, we have to look for our own model. As an individual teacher or as an institute, as if you're looking as MKBU as an institute, then also we need to look at our own model, that how do we see that what model we want to work on. And I would like to suggest that these components are necessary for the content for either online remote teaching or integration of technology. First is CMS and LMS, which is the backbone, content management system or learning management system. It can be a blog, or it can be a learning management system like Moodle, or the easiest one available to all of us is Google Classroom, because Google education tools are available free of cost to MKBU department teachers. So we can go for Google Classroom as LMS there. Then digital communication links, we should have a better digital communication links where end-to-end encryption is possible. As apart from that, the phone numbers, the privacy of all our students, irrespective of gender, boys or girls, their privacy is also very important. So when we keep open platforms for interaction, we have to be very careful about the privacy of our students. So digital communication links, I think anything based on mobile phone should be avoided, and based on email should be there, like mobile, I mean by mobile number based kind of a thing, and email communications can be relied more in this context. Then we have to think of synchronous and asynchronous learning. Synchronous teaching means live teaching, which we had never thought. I know that when for last 10-12 years, many of us are rigorously working with technology in our classroom environment. We are using PPTs, projectors, and lot many other things. But we never thought that synchronous teaching is something that we are going to do. That we did in Corona time. So even the high end of user of technology, the teacher who used technology a lot, was also never thinking of synchronous teaching. This is live teaching with the students in an online platform. So that is what we learned, and we are very thankful to Corona that Corona taught us synchronous teaching. Asynchronous means pre-recorded or post-recorded video lectures made available to the students to watch and learn in their own time. That is asynchronous learning. So teacher is not live at that moment of time, but still students are learning through LMS, through teacher's blog and other things. And for that, what we should do is that all our online classes or hybrid classes should be recorded and made available to the students, those who are present, those who are absent. For all groups of students, teachers' video should be made available for asynchronous learning. And finally, online assessment for continuous thing that becomes necessary component. So this way we can think of the model, and whatever tools are useful, we can use it. I give example of Google Classroom because it is freely available. There are many better tools, but they are paid tools also, and some are very costly also. Apart from that, this tool, I would like to talk about this blended learning concept knot. And in this, UGC has proposed ISPIT model for India. For India, they said that we need to work on this ISPIT model, and ISPIT means IP IPSIT. Sorry, it is IPSIT. There is a slight error in the first word. IPSIT IPSIT model means identify resources and learner-centered activities, then provide resources and announce activities on LMS, scaffolding and support to learners, identification of learning gaps and feedback, and testing. These are very important components on which we need to work again at individual level as well as at institutional level. At both the things we need to think of this IPSIT model. How do we identify resources? And how do we think of learner-centered activities which can be carried out in offline as well as online mode? Then how can we provide resources? Obviously, digital platforms will be used. Learning management system should be used for that. Then how do we support and scaffold the learners in what capacities? We know, we all have experienced that in face-to-face we can do this. We are trained in scaffolding and giving support to learners in face-to-face mode, but in online mode it was very challenging for all of us. It was tremendously challenging there, and many of us are still not able to find a proper answer to this. Then identification of learning gaps and feedback. How can we do that? And testing, which is very, very challenging for institute level. So when we were thinking of going for online exams during Corona times, it was very difficult for us to find an alternative. Looking at the rural students that we have, looking at the network bandwidth and other things that students say, it was not possible to go for online testing or online evaluation of the student there. In the same model, there are three vital components which are suggested by UGC. The fourth one is added by me, that is assessment is a part of that, but not a vital component of this model. So that is added here, IPSIT, IPSIT model, infrastructure, resources, and pedagogy. And in infrastructure, it is suggested that we need to take care of all these things. We should have a good learning management system. We need to have ERP to control everything. Like by ERP, as Dolia sir was already talking about ERP model, And that is like from the online admission to online degree certificate award. Everything is done over the digital platform. So teaching and learning is a component of that. So entire academic life of student is being managed by ERP. And at point number 2, we need to augment our institutional infrastructure. Individual teacher cannot do anything at this point number 2. Bandwidth, we need to take care of. High speed net is very necessary for everybody. Wi-Fi campuses, intranet for campuses, e-devices, computers, mobiles, data center services. And now see, one of the challenges that we see here is that we all have started working on the path of technology, but we still, like institutes, still do not have a very powerful data center services. And so lots of data that is generated in online mode, there is no way that we can compile, we can work on that data, we can use the data for decision making also. Smart classrooms, necessary things, studio facilities, software support for plagiarism check, as well as domain specific software for science stream. They require virtual lab and similar kind of software also. So infrastructure wise, these are the things that we need to keep in mind. So far as resources are concerned, for IPSIT, IPSIT, the spelling error continues in all the slide. That is something that happens when we do cut, copy, paste. So IPSIT in this model, resources, first MOOC. But now MOOC has also got varieties now. The MOOC is a messy online open course, but we also have now a SPOOC. SPOOC means small private online courses. Then we have SMOOC, which is synchronous massive online course, which I told that we are not talking about synchronous up till now. All our MOOCs on Coursera or edX, they were not synchronous. They all were asynchronous. Now we are thinking of synchronous massive online course, then SSOC, synchronous small online courses, and CMOOCs, that is connectivist MOOC, wherein open online courses which are heavily supported by and based on social media applications. So this is one part of resources. The other parts of resources are virtual labs, distance, online or hybrid courses, what kind of course we are designing. Now, as we know that in blended learning concept note, UGC has proposed that all our courses should be taught in online mode as well as in offline mode. So at least 30 to 40% of our all courses should be taught in online mode. So it is distance, online or hybrid, whatever way we are going to do, but we have to blend those things. That is what is suggested by UGC. And training for teachers, which is very necessary part there. Third important component of this IPSIT model is pedagogy. In that pedagogy, it comes planning online face-to-face ratio. How much online, how much face-to-face? So what is that ratio? Ideally, the concept not tries to say that minimum 30% should be given to the other mode of teaching. Other means, for example, I like online a lot. I like 100% online. But then I should incorporate 30% offline, that is face-to-face also. Along with, I can keep 70% online, but 30% should be offline. Well, some teachers say that, well, my courses require practical a lot, and we can't work without face-to-face. In that case, those teachers should have 30% online and 70% offline. So that way we need to plan the pedagogy of our course modules there. And the same way nature of online mode, whether you want it synchronous or asynchronous, that also we have to plan, and what time exactly will be required for face-to-face and which sort of LMS we are going to use. That becomes pedagogical aspect also. In UGC concept note, they have given very interesting examples that teachers can have variety of things. Like in one department, if you think of PG department, there are 4 teachers. And the 4 teachers can have their own model of teaching. One teacher will say that I will have 30% online and 70% offline. The other teacher may say that I want to keep 30% asynchronous, means I will upload videos and my students will learn from video. And when for 20% time we are face to face, at that time we will discuss that. Third teacher may have the third model also. So 3-4 models are proposed by UGC, and these are very interesting. We can be imaginative in this, and that scope, that freedom should be given to teachers, that how they want to work. And we need to pass all these things in our board of studies, in our academic council, and BPGTR, and in executive council also. All these things should be written. So our mode of teaching can have a variety of things, and teachers can be very flexible in this mode of teaching also. When it comes to assessment, the fourth component which I would like to add here as a vital part is that we need to think very seriously about continuous internal assessment. We need to give more value to formative assessment rather than summative assessment. We need to increase project-based assessment, rubric-based assessment, and overall, as our university, we can think that all our PG students should have digital portfolio. We can serve as a model also, or a case study also, or because for last 10 years, our students are having a digital portfolio. And it's not very difficult. It's not very difficult task. It is very cost effective. There is no money at all required. It is all free of cost. And if the arts students can do, obviously commerce and science students can easily cope up with digital portfolio idea. But if we can move in this direction for our assessment as a digital portfolio, then it can also be taken as one of the best practices which we can showcase for NEC or NIRF or SIRF also. And some of the examples that what we used to do. Yes. So finally, these examples, like when we think of flipped learning, what is the pedagogical concern? It is not to glamorize technology or use technology because there is glamour in technology. The basic purpose is search for questions. And this is a very traditional quest for any teacher, even if it is Gurukul system or Plato's academy in the Greek. Questions were always very important. Teachers, gurus were always expecting questions. And that is what we are expecting here also. So when we are looking for questions, flipped learning can help us a lot. In this concept, teacher prepares video. The videos are shared with students through teacher's blog or YouTube channel. And then when students are given the task to do the activity of watching the video, taking notes from the video, and very important learner activity that is given to the students, and that is to ask questions from the videos. And when they assemble in the class, all the students will have to write their question on the blackboard, green board, whiteboard. So everybody will watch videos and come in the classroom with questions. And the boards will be full with questions. All the students will write their questions on the board. And then teacher will take all the questions one by one. So classroom will be full of interaction, questions and answers. And who are asking questions? Students are asking the questions, and teachers are answering this question. That is the quest in flipped learning or in blended learning. These photographs are of pre-corona times. During corona times, we used Google Classroom for this question. So we can have sticky notes, we can have whiteboard, digital board, where we can ask students to write questions, and it engages students in a very interesting, meaningful way also. Apart from that, I would like to also share this idea that we also prepared a glass board during this time to cope up with the challenges of online teaching. We prepared this, so very proudly would love to flaunt it that we worked on this, and it really gave a feeling of traditional classroom teaching to the students. So a glass board, camera is facing there, and you are teaching from the other side of the things. And these are very simple innovations that can be carried out at individual level or at institute level also. And it can solve many of the problems that we face in terms of online teaching and online learning and other things also. Yeah, and using glassboard in different way. When on the other side, when students are there, they have this feeling that how the teacher is teaching. It can be live synchronous or it can be asynchronous also. In whatever way we want to do, this videos can be utilized there. And then with OBS also we can work, and we can prepare some very interesting videos using OBS and glassboard. Both the things can be combined together, And when it comes to teach drama performances in our literature classrooms, we can show a video, and along with that, we work on the glass board, and animated graphic also can be shown with all these things. So these are something which are very handy to everybody, and it doesn't require lots of money. Also, if you want to institutionalize all these practices, then also it is not a difficult task at all. Yeah? So this way, the teaching can become very effective also when we use this tools. Also, this can be used for the what we call it as asynchronous pre-recorded videos, which can be done. And like these things are done single-handedly. Normally in studio we require people who are doing shooting, then editing and other thing, but most of these things are done single-handedly, which also can help us in working out in various things also. Okay? So these are some of the views which I would like to, I wanted to share with everybody when we are celebrating this 1 year of NEP, and we are thinking about the technology integration in our education system. So I'm thankful to IQSC and our university as well as KCG for giving this opportunity to share these ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Barad. You demonstrated your technology which you are using in day-to-day education in your department, and you also talked about lot many things for the technology synchronization in education. And as we got an idea that synchronous teaching is going to be supplement to campus teaching, and will grow accordingly in this direction, because lot many things are coming up technology and things will come to it. At the end, while concluding, I would like to propose a vote of thanks to KCG for providing this opportunity to the university. I also like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor for his complete moral support in conduct of these activities on KCG front. We thank speakers for their learned contribution in 2 days webinar on IQAC and the university. I also propose a vote of thanks